out of a community.
Community.
Oh, absolutely.
That is
yes.
the design.
Yeah.
That is the good design. Because God Himself is community.
Yeah, true.
Father, Son,
and the
Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And you and I are made in that image. So, no one that if you realize that lonely people are the most depressed.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
There are healthy complications with the lonely. That is why when God will minister to someone, especially the lonely, the Bible says He sets the lonely into family.
True.
That is the ministry of God Himself. So someone who claims that they listen to God but don't want to be in family, they are listening to a different God.
True. Yeah.
Wow. Here is the thing. You must be part of a community.
Wow.
You must. It is for your good. It is not for the good of the community. It is not.
Wow.
You must forget this thing that we are reserved. How is it serving you? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
My immediate pastor, I greet you, Pastor Joy. She likes this saying, if something has not served you, why are you keeping it on? Why are you holding on it? Like, if it is not, we know it is not serving you by the results around you. You get what I mean? So if my reservedness has not served me, there are no good results around me. Why should I hold on to it?
Remember, we represent Christ in everything that we are doing. Alright, let's do with this. Hey there, I'm Eric Mukristu and I am your host. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is Christ Represented Podcast. Remember that always we talk about life, we share about what God is doing in our lives. We keep it real and we share life. And thank you so very much for always tuning in. Thank you so much for the encouraging messages, comments that you are putting on every episode that is coming out. And you've really motivated me. And sometimes you try to do something and you are wondering, will this really work out? But for sure, you've really showed me love and you've always been there. Thank you so very much. I will always take this time to honor what you're doing and also appreciate your support. When you get this link, you share it with other people and you've really you are viewing us from all over. Recently, I was so much privileged to see someone from Central Africa, and it is someone actually I know, and it is really encouraging me. Thank you so very much for always being there. Your comments are so positive, your comments are so encouraging, and thank you so very much for showing me that you are learning something from our guests. And today, I have also another guest whom I know for now some years, and it is a privilege, it is an honor to have him over because I know what God has put on his life, and I know the wisdom and also what he's doing in the ministry. And today we are going to continue our series or our season, and this season we are talking about community and the importance of community, but in a Christian perspective, in a Christian context. And I do believe that we are going to teach you something here and there, and remember to always represent Christ in everything that you're doing. And so today we are going to talk about community, and I'm super hyped today. I am super grateful. I am honored to have you over, my brother. Thank you so very much for honoring our invitation and creating time for us to have you here. How are you, my brother?
Wow. I'm very fine. I'm so happy that I could join this amazing platform, your podcast. I commend the work you're doing. You're doing an amazing job. Really interesting stuff happening. I'm so excited to hold this conversation with you. I can't wait what what is in store for the viewer and for everyone who will get to watch it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is really amazing. So, for those who don't know you, would you go ahead and tell them who you are and what you're doing?
Well, my name is Enock Luyonza. I lead the communication team at Cornerstone Development Africa. Cornerstone works in 7 countries. I am there at a professional level, but in like my vocation, if I would say, I'm also a leadership pastor at Worship Harvest Ministries, international based in Uganda. We are also based. We have a base in Rwanda, so I'm happy to be doing that as well, giving my life to what is meaningful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like people know me.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. You are an author. You are, you are an author. And I remember, was it in 2019 or 2018 when I read your book? It has really contributed a lot. You know, it has strengthened my faith, and also seeing that there might be limitations, but we have to break through. We have to fight, and no matter what. And thank you so very much for fighting and also allowing yourself, exposing yourself to that extent where you shared your story and people, you know, are reading it. You know, I remember recently I was talking about books with a friend, and she recommended me, have you read, you know, your book? I'm like, I read this book long ago. She was very excited, and I was really, you know, I was happy to brag about it, that, hey, the author is my friend, you know. So it was really so encouraging. People are really reading your book and are going beyond the limitations in different aspects of their lives. And if we can begin from there, where did you get an inspiration of writing your story?
Wow. By the way, thank you for that. Sometimes you would do a thing and you never know how impactful it is until you hear things like this. Like, I've had different people come to me, tell me, I read your book and it was inspiring. But I began, it begins a way back. I'm invited in a smaller group, a community, by my mentor and also pastor, Apostle Moses for a year. This is a man who has written extensively on many things. But I remember in that particular season, he invites us in a thing he called gang. So young people, and he's teaching us many things. I remember in this one thing, in this one moment, after our teaching, I had seen him write a book. There was a nudge in my heart to do what he was doing. So I used to be this timid person who feared talking in public, speaking to people. So I had like limits around me. But as I was in this community, many things were deposited in us that were worth talking about. But then because I had this limit, I thought I wouldn't talk around people because of a speech impediment. Anyway, because there was an example in my surrounding who had done it, it was easy for me to do it. You see, transformation cannot happen where there is no reference.
Come on. Repeat that again, my brother.
Transformation cannot happen where there is no reference. until you see that a thing is doable, you don't know. There is no reference.
Oh my goodness.
So for me, lucky for me, there was a reference point. I would draw inspiration from. This man of God had written a book. So I figured if I can't talk to people, I can talk through writing.
Wow.
So anyway, because there was an example, a reference point, it was easy for me to write. And guess what? After writing, the thing I dreaded most, which is talking, actually began happening. People began calling me.
Inviting you to
talk
speak.
about
Oh
the
my
book.
goodness. Wow.
God has a sense of humor. The thing you think you are running away from, sometimes it's the thing He's drawing you into. So, that's how briefly I got into writing. But as I went on that journey, now I have this conviction that everyone should write.
Wow.
And you want to know why everyone should write a book?
Please tell us.
So for the viewer out there, this is my conviction about writing. One, when you write a book, not many things that will come out of you will outlive you. You get what I mean?
Come on, yes.
So, and God has created us in His image. Something about you, out of you, should outlive you.
Oh, come on. That is very true.
There has to be something eternal coming out of you.
Yes.
And at some point, I thought that when you make lots of money, you can pass on that wealth to others. But in our world, there are very few people who can make a lot of money that can go into another generation. So here is why everyone should write a book, especially from our part of the world. Let me even look into that camera when I'm saying this.
Please.
You need to write because you have to live for a generation you will never see.
Oh my goodness. Whoa.
Yes. You have to live for a people you will never ever see. And I figured that the way to do that is right. Because right now you find books that are hundreds of years old, thousands of years old, where you find ideas, ideologies that are centuries, millennia old, but they were passed on through writing. As a believer, I believe that we've been called to live for generations we will never see. Chances are higher you will not live 100 years in the future. Very high. So you have something has to come out of you that will affect that generation 100 years from now. And simply a book is an easier way where you distill your ideas in a written format that can outlive you. So a book. The other really is discipleship, which this has been drummed into my heart by my leader again. Thank you, Apostle Moses Moksa. He has led us to tell us why discipleship is important. And imagine, Jesus poured his life in 12 men. Today, we are a result of that.
I'm telling you, yes,
so,
that's true.
I have this belief that how you live for a people you will never see is one, discipleship, pouring who you are, into what you've learned into other people who do the same, who do the same, who do the same. That is how Christianity has been propagated. I tell you the good news,
I tell
You
someone
don't,
else.
you don't keep it yourself.
Yeah.
You pass it on
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
Then the other, writing a book.
Yeah.
There is this church for the Christian in Christendom where a good man leaves an inheritance
Yeah.
for his
For
children.
Yeah.
So, you want to be a good man or an evil man? I bet you want to be a good man.
Yes.
So you have to live, and leaving an inheritance really is not material.
Yeah.
Material is part of it, but material goes.
Yeah.
It is inheritance is what you leave in a people
True. Yeah.
that no one can take from them. That is inheritance. Inheritance is the things that have molded or shaped a man that he packages that and passes it on to others.
Yes.
Where the thing you pass on in book format or in speech, in lesson, no one can take away from them.
Yeah.
So I believe everyone, if you are a follower of Jesus, you have to write, you have to make disciples.
Yeah.
That is how you pass on inheritance.
Yeah.
I have an interesting definition of inheritance, but that would be a discussion almost for another day.
I know. Wow.
I don't want to drag in there, but if you ask me, I would go there as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so profound, my brother. And our mandate, our calling as Christians is to make disciples, Matthew 28. And I think many people haven't really grasped that. They haven't really taken that as their responsibility and what God is calling them to do. But we are going there. So I want you to also talk about, you are part of a community. You are part of, your life is a result of, discipleship. But I want you to tell us if you ever been, if you ever been in a season in your Christian walk where you weren't part of a community and now you are part of a community, and you're going to give us like the picture. What is the difference of you who was not part of a community and you who is part of community today?
Wow. I'm trying to remember that when I was not part in community and when I was, I honestly would say I barely have a concrete example of that. But I've been in a place where community was accidental, if I may say, and discipleship communities must not be accidental. There has to be an intentionality around it. And so when I remember my Christian journey, where there was no intention for discipleship or intention, discipleship is really learning, coming into a relationship where you are learning what Jesus is requiring, and you're doing something about it. Now, where there is no intention, when I look back, you left things to chance. But in a working discipleship community, there is intentionality. You are doing something about something. You are not leaving things to chance. So, and in the place where discipleship is not intentional, there is a lacking. There is no growth. Now, let me put it this way. I'm recollecting. There are many things running through my mind, so I'm recollecting. So, you come into a discipleship community, and what you are looking for is acceptance, love. But it shouldn't end there. there has to be a challenge.
Yeah.
There has to be truth. So it is when you come to Jesus, what was Jesus full of? In John 1, it says he was full of grace and truth.
Truth, yeah.
So grace and truth. Grace is really that environment that accepts you for who you are. But it doesn't leave you that way. There has to be a transformation around it, about it.
Yeah.
So you come into this community that takes you the way you are.
Yeah.
But they are inviting, they are warm, they are loving. But it shouldn't end there.
Yeah.
There has to be challenge.
Yeah.
There has to be a truth.
Yeah.
Man, you came happy, you came with a poor thinking, you came with a poor perception about love, life, or anything.
Yeah.
So, truth is to empower you, to challenge you to move.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, in a discipleship community or relationship, you see two things at play. There is invitation, which is loving on someone, loving on you, that taking someone the way they are. But there is also challenge or truth where you refuse. When you love someone, you refuse that they remain where they are.
Oh, yes.
You push them
Yeah.
in love. You challenge them.
Yeah.
You hold them higher.
Yeah.
You ask for things
Yeah.
you know they are capable of doing, even though in the moment they are not.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
get what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
That
yeah.
is the whole idea of discipleship. And for me, when I came to an intentional community where discipleship happens intentionally, those are the two things I experienced. They receive you the way you are, but they refuse that you remain the way you are. They push you.
They challenge you.
They
to
challenge
grow.
you.
Yeah.
Like I can give an example in my current discipleship
Yeah.
community, how things happen. So we have what we call missional communities in our church, and in the missional communities, they love on us.
Yeah.
They celebrate our birthdays.
Wow.
They do like the things that you would do in a family.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't end there. They also love us not to stay the same. An example, a healthy believer, a healthy Christian must have a personal relationship with God.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
By study of the word, by prayer.
Yeah.
So they ask you, are you praying?
Wow.
Are you sure?
studying?
So they
Yeah.
create a
Wow.
platform where we come to pray.
Oh, yes. Wow.
So it is a requirement. They are pushing you.
Yeah.
But the benefit is not who is requiring you, it is for me.
Wow.
So every morning, an example, I pray every morning at 5.
Wow.
Not because I'm great, but because I'm part of a community that requires that of me.
Wow.
The other, reading your Bible every day. The other is, I've learned saving, but I've learned it from this discipleship community. I call the missional community. We learn things like even bathing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You see, here is the challenge I've realized in our
it
world.
is literally everything about life.
You have to teach. You have to be in a place. You know, in your home when you are growing up.
Yeah.
For me, my mom would spank me to bathe. Imagine if they didn't do that. I doubt you would want me here. I wouldn't be here. But because someone had to teach me, that is what should be happening also in a discipleship community, in a missional community. It is I don't know if you people
Absolutely,
get
yes.
me,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Mm.
that seed is you are invited
Yeah.
into family,
Mm.
but then you come as you are, but
you
you
don't
refuse
remain.
to remain
Oh,
the way you came.
Wow.
We challenge you, we
Yes.
push you
Yes.
to be more
Mm.
than how you came.
Yeah.
And honestly, when we come to Jesus, we come as we are, but we
Yeah.
don't remain the way we
Absolutely,
are.
yes.
Yeah. That's what I've been experiencing. Yeah.
There is a lot to unpack, my brother.
My goodness.
But thank you. So far, you are. Yeah. My people. We need discipleship. We need to be part of a community. But there is. I want you to talk about this. What happens if someone is walking with Christ? They are the followers of Jesus Christ, but they don't want to be part of a community. They don't want to be discipled. What will happen to them if someone is there and I'm like, I keep it to myself. It is me and my God. Like this relationship has not to be there. Like I grow alone and I will attend, Sunday service. Then no one will know me whether I greet someone or not. But no. Talking about the discipleship community or mission community, no, don't tell me what is going to happen to them. Yeah.
So first of all, a person like that, we should say they can't come to claim that is a good thing, because that is not what the Bible teaches. The first question I would ask, which word are we talking about here?
I know.
Because
when
Jesus was living, except they don't believe that Jesus is there, is God. Because Jesus said clearly, and if it was my word, probably you would fault me. But Jesus said, go, make disciples of all nations. Baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. If you are testing of discipleship, it means Jesus is not your God. We are talking about another God here, who is not the same God. So that is the first problem there. In fact, God is community. When you are anti-community,
come on, oh my goodness,
you are anti-Christ.
Oh boy,
you are anti-God.
Yeah, that's true.
The very God calls all of us into community. There is a scripture, I forget, I think Psalm 62 or 68, I confuse them, but I'll say it verbatim, that God blesses the lonely in families. Now, except you have a different God who is not that one. God finds the lonely person and blesses them in families.
Come on,
So, I will ask such a person, which God are you professing?
I know.
Now, one of the Bible says this. He brings the solitary or the lonely and blesses them in family. Watch out when it is hard for you to be in family, in community. It is likely you are anti-Christ.
True.
You are anti-God.
That is very true.
When God created man, the first man, He brought him and checked this out. He said, it is not good for man to be alone. He brought a woman. So, my God, your God, has designed us to be in community.
Wow.
There is something about man that they go off when they are lonely. And by man, I don't mean man, male. I mean all of mankind. you must
You
be
have to be part of a community.
community.
Oh, absolutely.
That is
yes.
that design.
Yeah.
That is the God design. Because God Himself is community.
Yeah, true.
Father, Son,
and the
Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And you and I are made in that image. So, no one that if you realize that lonely people are the most depressed.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There are healthy complications with the lonely. That is why when God will minister to someone,
Yeah.
especially the lonely,
Yeah.
the Bible says He sets the lonely
Yeah.
into family.
True.
That is the ministry of God Himself.
Yeah.
So someone who claims that they listen to God but don't want to be in family, they are
They must
listening
be
to a
serving
different God.
God. True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. There is something that you've really talked about, and it is very, very profound. You said we allow people to come as they are, but we don't allow them to remain the way they came. And the base or the result, the ending result of discipleship is growth, maturity.
Yeah.
And it is so good when you are growing together.
Yeah.
The moment I was also blessed to be part of a community, a growing, intentional, growing community, where my life was no longer private, where my life was open. Like there was someone who was like, asking me hard questions. Someone is like, have you read your Bible? Have you prayed? Are you fasting? Are you giving? Are you doing? Like someone is just following you up, and then sometimes you reach a point where you be like, oh man, this is too much, but it really helps you. And when you are even facing challenges, even you're going through hardships, those people are just there, not to judge you, but to pray for you and to pray with you, to stand with you, and you don't feel lonely. And sin doesn't even take you away because you are surrounded. There are people who are there to lift you up, to encourage you, to strengthen you, and to speak life, to even call out some stuff that is not really in a good alignment with God. And it is so challenging, and I really don't get it. As you are saying, maybe someone is reading a different Bible, but the Bible is in the setting of communities. And every success that we see in the Bible, someone had to have a community around them.
Absolutely.
Someone needed to have a community around them. And this is the reason why we have to talk about community.
Yeah.
And when you come to the Rwandan context, we are reserved, want to keep things to ourselves and mind your business. But in this walk with Christ, there are people who have to mind our business. There are people who need to know everything about us because that is how Christ designed it. And even himself, he allowed himself to be part of community.
Absolutely.
He was a part of a community. So that is so important. But I want you to talk about growth as a result of community, as a result of intentional discipleship. And recently I was talking with a friend, and I told him, let me tell you something. I've realized that I don't really have bigger shoulders to carry all the burdens and everything. I know that God has assigned men in my life who are there and well equipped to help me carry every burden, every challenge, every blessing and everything. So I really don't live my life. I live my life with a community. I live my life with other people. There is someone who is holding me accountable of certain things that I have to do. And that is what God is calling us to do. And because of that, the result of that is maturity and it is growth. Why? Because you have a platform where you're expressing yourself. You have a platform where you are making mistakes, and there is someone to correct you. There is someone to tell you, go this way, don't go this direction. And that really results in growth. But I want you to talk to us about the result of discipleship, which is maturity and growth in Christ.
Wow. For someone listening or who will listen to this broadcast in the future, I want you to believe that you have to be in community. You must be in the community. Why? You have the question, why? So here is the thing. remember I talked about the idea that good and where that's for community.
Yeah.
This is the point. So everyone has a dysfunction.
Yeah.
Like it or not, there are some dysfunctions around us.
Yeah.
You may find that because of my background, there is not decorum around me. I don't mind other people. I'm impatient because of how I was brought up. It may not necessarily be my problem. It was a result of how I was brought up or the community I grew up in. Now that is a dysfunction.
Wow.
Or I don't know how to give time because of how I was brought up. But it is a dysfunction. You may find that it is affecting other people.
True, yes.
So here is how God is amazing. He finds me in my dysfunction and brings me into family. Because remember that scripture that says God sets the solitary in family. So he finds me in my dysfunction and brings me into this community where I meet mature believers, great people, great individuals. And what happens when I meet such people? The things that has made people mature begin rubbing off of me.
Come on, yes.
You get what I mean? They begin holding me higher. They begin modeling a life I didn't know. They begin. I earlier said I learned to write because I had a reference.
True.
So you come into this family and there is diversity of reference. You see people loving. If you are impatient, you find people patient. They begin modeling that virtue.
Yes.
And you don't know what you are seeing, but what brought you there for a purpose. He wants to model patience so that it can rub off of you, so that you become a patient human being. You enter into a community where people are high level executives. They do things. You were lazy.
Wow.
You would sleep into midday. You get what I mean? There are people who you would be watching us. You think sleeping up to midday is normal. It is not.
Wow.
But then, God by mercy, He brings you into a community, into a family, where people begin modeling the right patterns of living. This is how you should love your spouse.
Wow.
Then they model that, and before you know it, it is coming to your house unknowingly. Unknowingly. And then it is forming you. You are being formed. You are coming to a stature where now the thing that you are lacking, you begin possessing. I came with that dysfunction. Over time, because of being in this community, I'm doing what I am required of, what they are asking of me, but I'm also learning. Before you know it, my dysfunction begin breaking one by one. So here is the thing. You must be part of a community. You must. It is for your good. It is not for the good of the community. It is not. You must forget this thing that we are reserved. How is it serving you? You get what I mean? My immediate pastor, I read you, Pastor Joy. She says she likes this saying. If something has not served you, why are you keeping it on? Why are you holding on it? Like, if it is not, we know it is not serving you by the results around you. You get what I mean? So if my reservedness has not served me, there are no good results around me. Why should I hold on to it? I should release it and join a family. A family on mission. A community. You get what I mean? So we all need living communities that are on mission, where you come with your dysfunction, but because this thing is moving, it carries you. Your dysfunction begin breaking one by one. There is a beautiful example or illustration my pastor has painted, and that thing has never left me forever. It is a picture of a train. Now, a train, you may not have seen a train, but at least you've watched a movie. A train has an engine, you know? The lead wagon has an engine that pulls the wagons. Now, my pastor likes to equate people to a train, and he says, if you know that your life is stationary, you don't have to be stationary about life. Find people around you who are engines, and hook yourself onto them like a train. You see, when the wagons are independent, they will be stationary because they don't have an engine.
Oh, come on. Yes.
But the moment they are hooked to an engine, then they will move.
Oh, wow.
Could it be that you are stationary in life because you've refused to hook yourself onto an engine called the community that is moving? You get? So people have to, in a community where you find men and women who are engines, that when you are stationary about life, in life, you easily hook on them and they pull you, so that you are never stationary in life. I was glad today you called me an author, but it is because I hooked my little life to an engine that moved me. Now, they add author to my name, not because I'm smart, it was because of community. I hooked myself on an engine that this man has written many books. Just by hooking on him, I am able to release a book. The same is true when actually my friends, most of my friends are now authors. You have written a book.
Which is
but I remember the conversation.
Oh man.
It is that. It is really that. You connect to a person who has received that grace. You receive that grace. There is a word called impartation. Impartation is transference of possibility. Transference of grace. So I find you have a grace to parent or to lead or to write. The moment I hook my little life on your life, on your engine, then I carry that grace.
That is very true.
I receive that impartation.
That is very true.
Then I begin flowing in the very things you are flowing in. That is what God wants for all of us. He wants that for you, for me. That you refuse to be in your little world. You find people who are great. And then you hook yourself onto them. And then they pull you. That is how you have authors. That is how you have men of God. Every man of God you celebrate today hook their lives on another person who poured
that is very true.
a grace on them. Jesus, my Jesus, your Jesus, his ministry began by him coming to John the Baptist. And he spoke. It is John the Baptist who opened that door of ministry for Jesus. And that has been the order from time past to now. So, I don't know what you mean when you are on your own. No one that explains your results.
That is
Imagine, would you call me an author if I hadn't met Apostle Moses?
Not really.
Probably not. But today I'm proud to be an author because I hooked my little life on an engine called Moses Apostle. And I'm not where I should be, but neither am I where I used to be. Why? Because I've been in community, I've gone into places where people hold you higher. And everyone, every man, every woman needs communities where they are held higher. Because the world is always devaluing you. Yes. And you have to refuse it and go to a place where they are holding the value God has placed on you. That value that was worth dying for. Can you imagine that we are worth that death of our God? You get that is how valuable I am. So if the world is negotiating me down, I have to come into a community that is calling out the real value I have, holding me higher. And that can only be possible in community. In community. I go on and on.
Wow. Growth happens in community. Maturity comes as a result of hooking yourself to a community, and you start realizing a lot about yourself that you didn't know before you joined a community. So we are inspiring someone to be part of a community. Perhaps someone was saying that, I'm part of a local church. I'm going to attend 1-2 services a week at church, but don't tell me about, maybe a community that is really going to follow me up on a daily basis. But we are, putting them in a place of asking themselves, then how do I find a community? Now, let me put my question this way. Someone is there inspired that they have to be part of a community, and they're like, okay, there are several communities outside there. So what are the qualities should someone consider before hooking themselves in a community?
Wow.
Because there are unhealthy communities there. So what should I be aware of for me to be able to say, I have to be part of this community? What should I base on?
Well, interesting question. So
this podcast is brought by iSmartHouse, your best podcast agency.
Remember, we represent Christ in everything that we are doing.